Welcome to Coffee with Viking. I am Mike. Cheers. Dead End, Numbers 14, 29, and 30. You will all drop dead in the wilderness because you complained against me. Every one of you who is 20 years old or older and was included in the registration will die. You will not enter and occupy the land I swore to give you. The Sinai Peninsula is not a hiker's paradise. It's blistering, it's brown, and it's a sand-littered wedge of rocks, looking less like a desert. It seems more like Mars or the Dakota Badlands. So it should come to no surprise that the Israelite refugees start complaining to Moses and never really stop. The distance from Mount Sinai to the Kadesh Barnea oasis near Canaan's southern border is roughly 200 miles. It takes the Israelites perhaps a couple of months to get over there, leaving Sinai in the spring and arriving in Canaan's border well into summer. Moses sends a dozen scouts into Canaan, one man from each tribe. They spend 40 days exploring the land. Then they return with a taster's choice of crops harvested at the end of summer: pomegranates, figs, and grapes. It is indeed a bountiful country, a land flowing with milk and honey, the scouts report, and that is Numbers 13:27. But there's bad news too. The people living there are powerful and their towns are large and fortified. We even saw giants there. Next to them we felt like grasshoppers. And that was Numbers 13:28 and 33. Only two scouts recommend going further, and that's Joshua and Caleb. The Israelites cry and complain all night. Then they plot to choose another leader and go back to Egypt. Only the intercession of Moses keeps God from killing them all. But a disease kills the 10 rebellious scouts, and God sentences everyone else to 40 years in the Badland wilderness. A year for each day the scouts explored Canaan. Habitually rebellious, the Israelites have second thoughts about their aborted invasion, and against God's order they attack the Canaanites, who meet and greet them with swords and send them scurrying back to Moses. The Israelites spend most of the next 40 years planted right where they are, in an oasis that seems to contain the largest source of fresh water in the region. The greenery of Kadesh Barnea is fed by a spring that pumps 250,000 gallons of water a day. And some of the side notes, rebels in the family. Even Moses' own brother and sister, Aaron and Miriam, turned against him. Their gripes. Moses married a Cushite. She was from a race of people descended from Noah's grandson, Cush, and living in what is now southern Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia. This may refer to Zipporah or a second wife the Bible doesn't name. Moses was the prophet in charge. Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? They complained. Hasn't he spoken through us too? And that's Numbers 12:2. God answers for Moses, saying he speaks to Aaron, Miriam, and other prophets only in dreams and visions, but not with my servant Moses. Of all my house, he is the one I trust. I speak to him face to face. And that's Numbers 12:7 and 8. God turned Miriam's skin white with disease, forcing her to live outside the camp for a week. Moses pleaded for mercy, which God granted. And a couple more side notes here, which we haven't gotten to yet because it's from Numbers 20 and 21. But finding water in rocks. Moses tapped a desert rock with his walking staff, and water gushed out. Numbers 20:11. Swabi desert travelers can do the same if they know what to look for. Moisture in the cracks of rocks. Many of the desert rocks are a type of soft sandstone. Rainwater filters through them and into pockets inside. Sometimes there's enough for a gulp or two, but in Moses' case, the entire community and their livestock drank their fill because they had God providing it for the whole camp. As God promised, he would take care of them. He did it through the rocks. And it was also a sign that it wasn't just a scientific thing, but a godly thing. A miracle through God to keep them hydrated. And right here, snake bite, snake poison surging through their veins. From fresh bites, the Israelites look up for a cure. God had sent the snakes to punish the people for complaining. But when the people repented, he sent a cure. He told Moses to attach a snake replica to a pole. All who are bitten will live if they simply look at it. Numbers 21:8. Numbers 21:8. And the Lord said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. God always provides everything that we need. We just have to have faith. Even the tiniest amount of faith, like the size of a mustard seed, can move mountains. And if you have enough faith that God will provide all that you need daily, like with the Israelites, with the snake bite cure, or with their need for water, he provided. When it came to their need for food, he provided with manna raining from heaven and with the quail. So all we got to do is trust in him, because he will never let us down, no matter how many times we let him down. Stay blessed. Stay caffeinated. And trust in the Lord and know that He loves you and knows what's best for you and wants to give you what is best. Much love.